showing we don't need roads.
Guys, this is an absolute honor. Seriously, thank you so much for taking the time.
Sure thing.
Sure.
I'm going to jump into this. Mr. Cronenberg, I'm actually going to start with you. I was wondering if you could think about who you were as a director when you made Rabid or Scanners or The Fly, all the way to the man who made this film today. How has your interest or your understanding or your fascination with the human body changed over the last 40, 50 years of storytelling?
Well, it's probably changed with my body changing. One thing to get old, I've had, I have hearing aids. I have just had cataract eye surgery, so I'm now looking at you through plastic lenses instead of the original lenses in my eyes, which I used to make all the films up to now, including Crimes of the Future. My understanding is really just a matter of maturity and experience. But I think I have the same on the set. It feels the same to me. I mean, the first few days or weeks on my first movie, of course, I was insecure. I hadn't done it. Before that, I was an underground filmmaker who shot his own stuff, edited it, and now I was working with a professional crew. And the first time I had a production meeting, I actually didn't know what anybody did, I didn't know who they were. But then I realized they were there to help me make a movie. Since then, it's really very much the same. I feel like a kid when I'm making a movie, It's like, it's as though every film is the first film I've ever made.
I kind of love that. Scott, when this is going to sound strange, but when Formula One racers get ready for a race, oftentimes they walk along a track to get familiar with every sort of twist and turn to get ready for it. When you find out you're going to work with David Cronenberg, do you do like the cinematic equivalent of that? Do you just sit down and start refamiliarizing yourself with every cinematic twist and turn of his filmography?
No, I made a pretty conscious decision not to do that in a way. I just kind of wanted to stay in this movie. I mean, I've seen many of his movies, but not all. And I did not go back and rewatch and do that. I guess I was just more focused on, with the short amount of time we had to get ready, just to be doing that, just to be able to kind of vacillate into this role and give him what he needed. And I didn't want to get too bogged down with some of these, these adjectives we use to describe his movies, and just sort of focus on the part itself and give him what he needed.
For sure. Mr. Cronenberg, the elements throughout your career of body horror, what I love about them is that they're always grounded in character and they're justified by the story, but they still yielded some of the most difficult to watch moments in movie history. So as the man who actually crafted these moments, is there one from your career that is the hardest for you to actually watch the final product of?
No. The answer is simply no. I mean, it's all technical, basically. It's like, did that, the fact that there was no CGI those many years ago, could it have been better now if I could have touched up some things? But I don't really watch my old movies, frankly. So, I honestly, I don't think about them until I'm forced by people like you to think about them. But it's not that I disown them. It's just that I'm here now, So literally, making Crimes of the Future is like making my first movie, because I'm only focused on it, not thinking about connections to my other movies, even though I know they're there. But thinking about them does not give me anything creatively that I can use to make this movie better. So I just don't think about them.
One of the things I loved about this movie, and it's something I haven't done in a while, I'm here in Chicago and I walk everywhere. I usually put in my headphones and it gets me from A to B. When I was done watching this, I purposefully just didn't put my headphones in because I just wanted to just mentally chew on it as I walked home. And it was like the most thought-provoking walk around Chicago I've had, honestly, probably since I've lived here. So I totally get what you mean by that. Mr. Cronenberg, I think the fact that you wrote this script 20 years ago and that it still perfectly suits our times today is such a testament to how well the themes of your work have aged and continue to age. I'm sort of curious, is there any part of you that is surprised of how relevant so many of your films still are today? Because whether it's this film or Videodrome or Crash or even Shivers, there's so many elements that work in 2022, and I think that's fascinating.
Yeah, I think I can sum it up by saying, by quoting the mantra of the movie, which is "Body is reality." For me, that is the essence of the human condition, what we are. and we often lose sight of it in the whirlwind of things that are going on in our heads. But the body is really us, and it's a consistent element, of course, in life since the beginning of human existence. And I think that's really why my focus on that has led to a sort of continuing relevance, no matter what else happens politically, ecologically, whatever. It's always about the body. I mean, I really think that's the matrix of everything that follows.
I love that. And Scott, I'm going to cut us loose on a fun one. So obviously, I feel like when you hear David Cronenberg, it elicits a certain reaction because you know you're going to get a certain type of film and a certain quality of film. And I'm sure you knew this in the 80s. Mr. Cronenberg was asked to direct Return of the Jedi, Top Gun, and Flashdance. And obviously, he turned them down for a reason. But if you could have seen the David Cronenberg version of any of those movies, which one would it be? Because I'd love to see the David Cronenberg Return of the Jedi.
I'd love to see that, obviously, as a movie fan. I would love to see that. But really, I'd kill to see Flashdance by David Cronenberg.
Yeah.
What that would turn into. Is that true?
I was actually actively pursued by some studio executives, and I said to them, be careful what you wish for, because if I do this movie, it's going to be a total failure. Trust me.
Yeah, that's wild. I would love to see that.
Guys, I cannot begin to tell you how much it means to me to be able to do this interview, particularly for this movie. But so seriously, I know you have a busy day, so thank you for your time.
Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
It's a real honor. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.